Anyway, I better do an intro, hadn't I?
Yes,
And let's
make it
begin
official.
drum roll. So today's guest is Matt Weeks. So Matt cut his teeth as a session bass player, and he's turned his hand to pretty much everything else since. So he does production, he sings, he plays guitars, even some brass, I believe, which is one up on me, that's for sure. He's an all-round lovely chap and someone who I found that if I ask, because I've got a problem, he jumps straight in and gets to helping me out. So he's on my list of really nice people that I probably should send a Christmas card to if I can remember. So,
Yes,
welcome, Matt.
add me to that list.
So, we first met, didn't we, on when we both played with Turl Bryant on the new Burying Ground album,
Yeah. How
which
long
was,
ago was that now? Is that terrible with dates?
oh, it must be 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, I mean, your bass playing on it was absolutely fabulous, of
Oh,
course.
you know.
And just, I mean, my bass playing's okay, but you were playing stuff I wouldn't have dreamed in a million years. Not particularly tricky, but it's how you constructed it that was so lovely. And you gave me some wonderful production advice as well as we went along, and I had a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
And I have very fond memories of meeting up with you and Turl at that pub
Yes.
and signing all
Oh, we
those
signed them
CDs.
all.
That was good, isn't it?
That was amazing. Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell me, where are you?
Well, I'm in my studio down in Ashvale near Guildford.
You had to think
It's
about that,
amazing.
didn't
Little,
you?
I mean, I can give you a little show. It's an amazing full size,
Oh, look
big
at that.
ceilings. I've got the little workstation there and control room behind me through there. A little whirly as well. So
Magic.
yeah,
So this is
it's a
this is
little
weeks,
spacey
weeks,
working with
weeks.
my. What's that?
This is weeks, weeks, weeks.
This is yes. Where's our little?
Yes.
There's our little light
Oh,
that's not on.
magic.
WWW Studios, which is the 3 Weeks brothers. My brother Dan and Will. We all do production. We're all doing music stuff for a living, which is
Amazing. So I have seen
unusual.
have seen this on your Instagram and various
Okay.
posts and all that,
Yeah.
and I'm very jealous because my music room just looks like a bedroom. It's got everything
Yeah.
in it, and it's kind of piled up with instruments and printers and things, but
Yeah.
it's not pretty. So I come in here with in the library
Mm.
for my Zoom calls to make it look a bit
Yeah.
smarter. But I am very jealous of your studio.
I
Wow,
know.
sounds
Yeah,
good. So how long have
you've
you
got the
been in there?
official. We've been in here since 2018. When yeah, it really is a gift. I mean, because I used to be again when I was doing the production stuff, I'd be in my little bedroom with the same way all the instruments piled up. And, you'd book a studio when you needed to, and then worked away in that little room. But yeah, so gosh, it's 7 years ago now. We've
And you
sort
still
of
haven't got heating
yeah.
by the look of it.
I mean, it's so huge. This place takes forever to warm up. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Wow, I
yeah,
mean that ceiling is high. How
yeah, and it's great. The drum sound is epic.
and how do you how do
Absolutely.
you, how do you change the light bulbs?
Good question. Yes,
So is that good for drum sound? Is it?
it is. Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, remember we were painting the floor, so we'd got to that stage where it was pretty much done. There was nothing obviously in here because we had to paint it. So you had no equipment in there, a fresh coat of paint on the floor, and the reverb was off the scale. We were thinking, oh no, what are we going to do? This is going to be horrific. But actually, once we've hung theatre curtain on 2 walls. We've got a few little sort of things on wheels you can move around to damp stuff. We've got a little drumbrella which is on a winch, which you can bring up and down.
A
And then
drumbrella.
all
Tell
the
me
stuff
about
we've
that.
added in. What's that?
Tell me about a drumbrella. I've never heard of it.
Umbrella. I wonder if I can show it to you. So it's this
Does that
basically
reduce the reverb?
yeah. So it's that thing that's you
Ah,
can kind of see the cables that goes up on a winch there.
look at that.
So it goes flat against the wall if you need it to, and then you can winch it up. And you
Fabulous.
can stick your drummer under there and bring in these gazebos we've got, not gazebos, sort of little wheelie dampening things,
Amazing.
and create a little room within a room. So
So is it a church? It looks like a church.
it's a Methodist chapel,
Wow.
which is still in operation. So we're kind of in the back side of the hall, and in the front side there's still an operating room. a wonderful Fijian community meet in the weekends. There's a food bank that happens. All the mums and tots groups and
Oh, fabulous.
theatre
Do you have
schools,
to
you
kind
know.
of
So
schedule
it's,
your calendars so that um, you don't scare all the tots with the drums and the tots aren't all on your albums?
yeah, that's right. No, we've put up extra walls,
Ah, I
the
see.
full size,
Okay.
the whole sort of height. That whole wall has been added in, so
Amazing.
yeah, it
And you do
works.
this, and your brothers also produce there as well.
Yeah, Dan's in quite a bit. Will less so because he sort of works in the pop songwriting world, K-pop world. So he's kind of happy on his laptop, you know, in his little room at home. Doesn't really have need for a.
With heating.
He's yes, exactly. He's nice and cozy. He doesn't wear scarves in the middle of the day and things like that.
Amazing.
But it's great that all the lads do the music stuff, and when we can, we sort of pitch in on a project all together, which
Oh,
is
that's
super
brilliant.
fun.
That must be great fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the last project you did together?
Um, yeah, they're becoming sort of few and far between now, with budgets are ever reducing, as we all know, and things like that. So, but we've worked on some awesome cutlery projects, which are they're a great little band, couple of guys that they do worship for sort of kids in church.
Ah, I
And,
see.
they've called themselves Awesome Cutlery, which is absolutely brilliant,
That's so funny. What a
and
good
they're
name.
great to work with. So often, yeah, all the lads have kind of chipped in on those productions, which has been just yeah, brilliant fun,
Oh,
basically.
so you got a kind of big family feel then. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we
So
used
you
to have
start,
a family band actually.
yeah,
My
yeah.
dad was a musician, and he used to write songs, played guitar, and sang.
I've
And
heard a rumor.
yeah, so the band was called Our Dad. And when we were young, we weren't in the band, but you sort of see these musicians coming into the house, and the dream was to get in the band.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, Dan and I we got into the horn section, and eventually, yeah, the whole band was playing. We had the
Oh,
three brothers playing, my sister sang, sister-in-law sang. It was fantastic. So
oh, amazing. So, gosh, no. So you play trumpet, don't you? Is it trumpet?
yes,
Yeah. So is that
yeah.
what you first started on then?
No, did the sort of grade piano when I was young.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
three
yeah, me
grades. I
too.
was like, that's it. No, I think I saw the list of scales for grade four and was like, no, I can't even remember the list. Let alone remember how to play the list. So yeah. So and then I was picking up guitar and got a lovely teacher that was teaching me sort of jazz standards. So the
Yeah, yeah,
chord repertoire improved somewhat with that.
yeah. I bet.
And yeah, then when my brother was sort of a teenager, he decided to pick up the saxophone. I was like, right, well, I shall also do that. And I picked up, after, give me the trumpet, I'll pick up the trumpet. So that's where that sort of happened.
Oh, amazing. So yeah, big musical family then.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And I think it's just lovely that you're still working together.
Mm.
Even talking to each other can be tricky sometimes.
I
Yeah.
know, exactly, yeah.
So I mean,
We get
so you finally got into your dad's band. At what point did
yes.
you think, do you know what? I'm going to do music professionally, or did it just kind of happen
Yeah.
by accident?
I don't think I ever thought that, it just sort of opportunities kept landing. And before you know it, you're sort of doing it as a job. And then when you're as old as I am and you've got a wife and family and a mortgage to pay, you're still doing that same job, thinking, well, if I'd have planned this, I might not have done this. But
Yeah, no kidding.
by the grace of God, we're still sort of doing it and paying the bills. So
That's it.
we're grateful. But it started out, so I did a degree in electronic music,
Oh,
which
did
sounds
you? How
quite disco
interesting.
and
Yeah.
samples, but it was much more composition based, and they were into their classical contemporary music, which is all that weird squeaky gate stuff. But while I was there, I started to get opportunities to do sessions. So I was sort of asking for a week off here and there, and bless them, they let me go. So I
Amazing.
sort of fell out of education and was
Was that
doing
on
that
all
stuff.
sorts of different instruments or primarily bass at that point?
It was primarily bass at the time, but occasionally, yeah, the trumpet thing. Had a flugelhorn, which people like the sound of that, so that would
Oh,
get me the odd
flugelhorns are
session.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah, really
absolutely.
mellow.
So, and then yeah, the odd guitar session as well would still creep out. So it was nice that it was varied as well. I think that's been one of the staples of it. Sort of stays, week to week. You're doing different things, different
Yeah, yeah.
instruments, different stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
it
really helped.
always changes, doesn't it? Yeah, interestingly enough, I mean, I count myself as a guitarist, but I do get called on. 95% of the time for my violin. Just, and
Right.
I think it's just because there's so many different guitarists out there. Not
Yeah.
quite so many.
And from this project, I now know that you play the Uilleann pipes, which is a massive tick in the
Yes,
box. Like,
badly, but I can record what I need to on them mostly. If it's not too quick, I'm
yeah,
all right.
mate, it sounded fantastic. I was well impressed. So
Oh,
you're now high up on the list of Uilleann pipes players that I know.
as long as you don't try and get me playing them live, they're an absolute
Okay,
pig.
deal.
It's a bit like singing, actually. You know, when you sit down at a piano, you play a note, you know what it's going to sound like, you know what it's going to feel like on your fingers, and it just
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
Guitar,
okay,
mostly the same.
yeah,
Singing, you can have a rough voice. You can wake up one morning and it just doesn't work.
yeah,
I mean, so singing, I think, is a really hard gig if you're a singer because
yeah, absolutely.
sometimes you're fighting with your own body. But uilleann pipes is like that, except it's like having a wriggly child that goes under one arm. And they
Okay.
really, most of the time, they don't actually want to do what you want them to do, and you have to kind of, yeah, you have
Oh
to
wow.
cajole them. Let's put it like that. And sometimes you get them out, and
Yeah.
the weather's wrong, and you just like they won't speak at all, and you put them back in the case and try again the next day. Maybe someone a
Wow.
bit better than me could do it, but for me, I find this, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm interviewing
Yeah.
myself. This
Yeah.
is no
Where did we
good.
get there? This is my sneaky ploy.
That's amazing. I was looking through your discography earlier.
Hmm.
It takes quite a while, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, does it?
There's pages and
The
pages.
stuff I've played on.
I bet you can't
Yeah.
even count how many albums you've played on now.
No,
No.
I've not bothered counting. Maybe I should have done. But yeah, it's been enough years, so I suppose the number
But
goes up.
I was looking down there, and on that list, there's some. I mean, obviously, some amazing names that you've played with,
Hmm.
but there's some albums there that, from my youth, um, were incredibly influential. I mean, these were big, big albums that meant a lot to so many people. I mean, the ones I was thinking of, like you had Intimacy, Hungry, Surrender. I mean, to me, these were,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, just so amazing. So,
Yeah.
so to spot that you've played on them, I was like, wow. And I spotted a sneaky
Uh,
turl on there as well.
yeah. Well, I mean, that is odd in a way because Intimacy actually was the first kind of proper session I did. So
Was
I
it?
didn't kind of get a run up. That was
Oh my
kind of it.
goodness.
And it started, me and my family started going to HDB Church up in London, which is where Andy Piercy was the worship leader. So me and my dad and my brother were the sort of his worship band. And he basically gave me a trial. He was producing the Alpha worship CD. So I went across to Onslow Square, St Paul's Onslow Square in the vestry. And he had a little reel-to-reel record, 16-track machine. And
Awesome.
he did the Alpha CD on that. And I think that was my test, if I did okay, he'd get
Get
me
you
on
back.
this
Yeah,
this
yeah.
gig with the Matt Redman album. So yeah, I turned up for that Intimacy project, and it was actually myself and Nathan Fellingham. Don't know if you know him from Fat Fish back in the day.
Yes, 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 I know.
Nathan Fellingham. So they were sort of keen to make it sound fresh, So we were the sort of young, fresh sound.
Young, fresh.
Yeah. But then, bless him, Nathan sort of left after a day, and they got Turlin. And so I'm this 18-year-old lad, and this monster drummer's just arrived. And he's
Oh my.
giving it absolutely hell for leather out of this thing. I'm sitting
And
a
he's
few
enormous
yards
as well,
away.
isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was properly intimidating.
Oh goodness.
And then even more so that you'd finish a song, you'd sort of obviously run it with the band a number of times until they were happy with the drums. And I was thinking happy with the bass as well, but no, they would say, "Okay, everyone, come in. Let's get a mic in front of the bass amp. We'll do the bass proper now." And so all the musicians are lined up on the back row of the studio. You're told to stand in front of the mixing desk, and the engineer's watching you. And Andy Piercy's there watching you, and they say, "Like, right, go!" And you're like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not ready for this." Absolutely, scared
Oh,
witless.
that's
But
so funny. Yeah, oh, amazing.
yeah. And then, of
Yeah.
course, that was so. I keep going. That was one of the first sessions I did, and then it was the Vineyard guys that had just been making that "Come Now Is a Time to Worship" album, and Les Moyle was on bass, who was a sort of a mentor figure, and he said, "I'm not going to do the next one, so you have to find someone else." So I remember Nigel Hemming, the keyboard player in that Vineyard group, said, "Right, let's see who played on the last Matt Redman album. We'll see if we can get him." So I got to play Intimacy and then Hungry, and then basically the whole thing just snowballed from there, really. So,
Yeah. But I mean,
That
these are
was it.
albums that change people's lives. You know,
Mm,
this isn't just pop music or something on a commercial, or you know what I mean. And sometimes we have to work on music that is like that. But having getting so intimately involved in something like that that is just life changing for so many people is a real amazing thing. So yeah,
mm.
very good, very good. Um, your recordings, I've got to say, you've got amazing ears, and uh, just
Thank you, mate.
listening, I was just listening to some of your stuff this morning to prepare for the interview, and
Mm,
the guitar and piano and vocals are absolutely on point. I mean, the acoustic guitar sound that you get
mm.
is just beautiful. It sounds woody
Oh,
and fresh and
yeah.
sounds like a
Fresh, you
real
see.
guitar. I know it sounds really stupid, but actually,
Yeah.
quite a lot of people, when they've got acoustic guitars played, and you're thinking, if I was playing a guitar, it wouldn't sound like that, you know. But I could actually imagine myself playing that and hearing this sound, and I loved it. So, can you talk us through how you would go about picking a guitar, setting up your mics and recording
Mm.
it, what you do with it at the back end? Just walk us through
Yeah.
the process. I'd love to hear it. I'm going to
Wow.
nick it.
Well, yeah. Well,
I'm making
exactly.
notes.
Here we go. Everyone, get your pen and paper out. Um, I mean, first, it does help to have a nice sounding guitar and to be able to play it well. You know that it will take
For sure.
tiny changes in the way you are playing it, striking it, and it will make a big difference to how it's comes across on the recording. So obviously, just that alone that's a good starting point. So
So what's your go-to guitar for that then?
well, I've got an Avalon, which is like a new Loudon
Yeah, yeah.
style thing. So it's very rich, loads of sort of, it's got loads going on with it. So it's very rich compared to, I've also got a Gibson, which is kind of the opposite. It's quite flat. I suppose not many harmonics and stuff in it. So if you're doing
That
something
fit
that's
in a particular kind of mix a bit better, does it? If it's
exactly, yeah, if you want to sort of just do that sort of Americana thing and play some chords and you want it to be kind of just a linear thing that keeps going through
almost
the track,
percussion.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be perfect. Whereas if you're finger picking it's going to be more exposed in the song, then this Avalon is great because it's got a lot more, character to it and richness going on in there. So I've
Sounds
got
like
those
you're
kind of
describing a
options.
wine.
That's right. Yes,
Notes
the
of
full
blackberry.
body.
A little bit of fizz at the end and an
Yeah.
aftertaste. Yeah. Oh,
Um,
amazing. And then what do you do? I mean,
and
I
then
presume you
sort
mic
of the
them.
miking technique I've landed on with, which is probably the stuff you've heard, is where I'll have three microphones. So I'll have one which will act like a mono, and then the two others which will act as kind of a stereo pair.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes the stereo pair come in one microphone, or you get two out and do obviously left and right. And you're doing the sensible things like the mono is pointing kind of at the 12th fret or where the neck joins the body, that kind of area. And the stereo pair, usually I get as close as I can to that microphone, so there's there's as little phasing issues as possible. So if you do want to use all three, you're not getting any phasing issues. However, what's good about that setup is that if you're doing that thing, say with the Avalon, where it's quite exposed and you want it to be a very natural, full-bodied sound, you can use that stereo width, and the mono can often just add in a bit of that mid-range sort of glue to glue it all together. Whereas if you're doing something perhaps with Gibson where you're multi-tracking or double tracking loads of guitars in a big song, then I would probably not use the stereo pair so much, just kind of keep it as a mono sound. And obviously then you've done a recording on the left side, you've done a separate recording on the right side. You might get my high strung out and do a little high strung recording as well. So that setup works for both sort of approaches and all different sort of songs and that sort of thing. So yeah.
And so, do you use the room reverb there, or do you try and get it as clean as possible, then pop it on afterwards?
Yeah, with guitar acoustics, I've done some recordings with a guy that is actually just recording acoustic guitar, and we've done that thing where we've got loads of room mics up, thinking this is going to be, we want the whole gambit of sounds. But once it gets to that mix sort of stage, and often it's been a guy that's finger picking as well, so the source level is quite a quiet sound.
Mm.
So by the time you start cranking up room mics and it's getting compressed a little bit, the sort of hiss just became a bit too much, really. So I tend to just rely on a bit of a reverb in the box or some post production for that sort of thing, and just sort of record it with those three close mics.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. And the piano, I was going to ask about the piano sound you got was
Mm.
ace. So what was the track I was listening to? I thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah, what
Um,
was that? It's probably a plugin.
I think the guitar ones were Alpha and Omega and Close to You, I thought were wonderful. Oh,
Okay,
Rest.
yeah,
Rest. I thought the piano was
yeah.
really lovely.
That is, I mean, I could show you, but it's in the other room. It's a little upright piano that's about 100 years old.
Oh,
It actually
really?
belongs to my grandparents. We managed to get it in the studio, and it's like it's properly out. It's cranky, and
But
you
it
can
sounded
never get it.
real. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, yeah.
thing. Even when it's tuned, it doesn't sound in tune. But that's the beauty of it.
But it's just great. It's lovely. Really good.
And I think I recorded it in a very similar way. I've got a pair of Coles mics for that quite sort of dark.
Do you kind of open the lid and pop them in, or do you just have them in the
Yeah,
room nearby?
we've got the lid off, the front's off, so
Oh yeah.
you can see all the strings, and it's all totally exposed.
I love it. I love it when you get a proper piano recording and you can like hear the pedal a little bit, or you can actually hear fingernails on the keys occasionally, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And I mean, you get some amazing sounds on digital pianos now, don't you? I mean, I've got a digital piano as my granddad's, and it's brilliant. I love it. I love the fact you can turn it down and use headphones for a start,
Yeah,
and it sounds
absolutely.
great. But there's something authentic about having the real instruments, isn't there? So yeah,
Yeah, because you might say, "Oh, but I can't." You can get it really in time if you're working some MIDI but actually, it's those imperfections and those, well, not mistakes, but it's that humanity that you get in a recording that you can't, tamper with too much. That actually brings the beauty to a record, doesn't it? And
absolutely.
sort of thing that draws a listener into a sound. You know, I think that's something I've been trying to embrace more and more the older I've got. So, yeah.
To be honest, I think the more that we see AI music coming in, and people just even people that aren't using AI, they're
Mm.
just layering up, MIDI stuff, and yeah, good luck to them. But all that kind of stuff just makes me want to go back and, and put on those reel-to-reel tapes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't miss tape. I remember recording it on tape once, and it was a four-track. So you put in a normal cassette, and it would it would record on both sides at the same time, stereo on each. So you got four
Yeah.
tracks. That was really, really clever. Really good. That was a while back.
Yeah, no, I did the same. Yeah.
So, I mean, you play a million instruments. You also do your production, obviously.
Mm.
And when you're doing your own music, what do you try and do it all yourself, or do you get to a point and you think, oh, I could really use? I don't want to play piano on this one. I'm going to get someone else to do piano, or actually, I need
Mm.
someone else to mix it, or I need a cello. I need a cello. Bring in a cello. You kind of how do you go about thinking who should I get
Yeah.
involved with this project?
Um, I mean, the bottom line is there are often budgetary constraints, but which is great that I'm able to do so much of it myself. I appreciate that's a bit of a
Yes, for sure. I absolutely
win.
agree with that.
So, but again,
The
like
other
the more
great
I've
thing
done,
is swapsies, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
I do a lot of swapsies.
that's good, and yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? The fact that and people are often quite willing to do that, aren't they? So yeah, but I think again, I've been trying to embrace collaboration more and more as I've been doing it more and more. So that's with songwriting, but also the production stuff as well. So I mean, the one thing I don't tend to do very well is drumming. So I've often got a drummer in, and that sort of sets the whole thing in motion. And then singers as well. Try and get singers involved. And obviously that's got that real personal element to a song. So getting different voices in really sort of helps it come to life as well. I found. And yeah, on that Meditations project, which you'd listened to a few songs on, I got a cellist on quite a few of those songs. And I guess it's those emotive elements, aren't they? Like, yeah, getting singers and cellists, they really bring that sort of emotion to a song, don't they? And
For sure,
really
for sure.
make it sound super, even more sort of real, and not just got some MIDI instrument going. Yeah, so it really brings the whole thing to life when you get those elements happening.
I mean, your vocals that you record are absolutely on point as well. I mean, it, they're so clear but so real at the same time. I think you do an absolutely amazing job on that. On
Oh,
vocals.
mate, it's very kind, very kind.
And of course, I didn't say at the beginning, but Matt did the mixing for what am I doing? Cairn. What am I on?
Yes,
I've been Matt
yeah.
Weeks land today. Yeah, so obviously we did the recording here. Turl did the recording of the drums at his place. I went to Sally's to record her in her uh, little room. And let's see, I had a couple of other guest musicians as well that did remote studio recording, which is just
Mm,
amazing enabling
yeah,
technology, isn't it? It's
yeah.
so good. I mean, I had people from America playing. There's no way I could have flown them over
Right.
here.
I didn't know they were from America as well. Great.
Yeah,
Who were they then?
Marty Dykmeyer and uh, Robert Watson. So there we go.
Okay.
So we got all. So once it's all recorded, and I put together a mix, and then sent it down to you, and you've mixed it properly.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was great to be invited onto the whole project, Matt. So I really did appreciate it. It was
Oh,
great, and
great fun! You
it's
did a cracking job. I'm so pleased. The CDs have arrived, by the way, and
brilliant.
and I think it's because I hadn't really listened to the tunes since I sent them to you and we fixed and all that. It's like, oh no, never again. Um, and well, I put on the CD because you have to check it works all the way through, don't you? Because can you imagine sending out a few hundred
I know, yeah.
CDs and then they're all coming back again? Oh, it would just kill you, wouldn't it? So anyway, I listened all the way through and it sounded absolutely mint, fantastic. I was so pleased with it. Somehow it hit me just in that scenario. I wasn't expecting it. I was just expecting, oh, I'm going to listen to the album again. Here we
Mm.
go again. I've
Yeah,
listened to
that's
it a
right.
million times. And it
Once
just
more
hit me,
through.
and I just thought, this is really good. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so pleased that you did a super job. And then we
Well,
sent
that
it
is
to the,
good to hear because that is kind of the point, isn't it? We know you think you want that
yeah,
basically, whether you're doing that remote session or the mix, you want that artist that's putting their heart and soul into these songs to basically love it, to be
yeah,
really
that's
proud
it.
with it. So that is great to hear.
And of course, we sent it to Nigel. Have you worked with him before?
I've sent him the odd thing over the
Nigel
years.
Palmer,
So
sorry.
yeah, Nigel Palmer. Yeah, it was great to know he was going to be on it, fixing my mixes.
Uh,
A bit of
I,
polish, a bit of spit
yeah,
and polish at the end.
yeah, I think you two work together well. Yeah, definitely.
But it was great doing it because what's brilliant when you mix is that you tend to sort of go through everything, every single track that's been offered to you. So you get to hear all the bits in detail that are sort of not so audible in the once you get everything
No, and I remember
all together.
I mean, I was really pleased with my kind of rough mixes. Yeah, but when I then exported all the tracks for you,
Yeah.
I listened to some of the rhythm guitars in particular and thought,
Oh no,
really? Is that me? Oh
you
my
started to
life.
panic.
How embarrassing. I hope he doesn't listen to that one. It's
Yeah.
just, but at the end of the day, it sits at the back of the mix and it's just something
Yeah.
I mean, I sit there and I just like guitar, run, put this on. Ah, it needs this, it needs this, it needs this. I
Yeah.
often, I'm plugging into the same interface, the same wire. I've got the same one mic for a million different things, and I'm trying to get it down before my brain forgets what I'm meant to be doing. And I think often, particularly guitar solos, often you play them once and then you think, I'll clean that up later. I'll do it again. And you can't. You can't. It just, you can
Yeah.
play the notes better. You can get it more in time. You can get it
Yeah.
much better. And it doesn't sound the same. And you go back to the original one with all the fluffs in. But it's
Yeah.
magic and it's human, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got a thing to it. Yeah. It's got something brilliant.
Yeah. I'm interviewing myself again.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you
that's great to
write,
hear. It's great to hear how you work because that often is the way, isn't it? You're just in this sort of creative purple patch, and all the ideas are flowing, like you said, and you got to just grab what you need, get it down, and
and if it
often you get
works, you just run
brilliant
with it and you
results.
go with it, don't
Yeah,
you? And why do it again just for the sake of if someone ever gets hold of the tracks in 10 years' time and has a listen, yeah. So, I mean,
yeah.
on the song, when you write a song,
Mm.
do you just do it? kind of singing in your head when you're walking down the street, or do you sit at the piano and you think and you play and you think, or are you a guitar songwriter? How do you go about writing a song?
I think it's probably all of those things, you know, and I think that's what gets you different results and interesting things. So, you know, sitting at the piano and bashing out some chords on that will give you some different chords than if you were to sit at your guitar and play, you know, bash out some stuff on the guitar. So
Sure.
just having different instruments available to you is brilliant for getting some different things going. But I think one of the really fun ways to do it is, like you say, just to be like walking down the road and singing a tune or something, because almost when you're playing an instrument, you tend to go into a default mode, especially if you're quite, you know, comfortable with it with your instrument. You can go into those things you do all the time. So being away from that and just having to get a melody going that's really catchy or hooky or has a certain, you know, interesting thing about it, I think will make sure that the song is going to work, because that's going to work away from, you know, the instrument first, and then taking that back to your guitar or piano.
Love that.
That's often been a really good way to do it, you know.
I
And
mean,
then equally, there's been other times where I've been working. I'm quite keen on working with other lyricists, because that tends to be my sort of my least favorite bit. So often, you know, working with these people I've grown a relationship with, they'll just throw me some lyrics, and so you literally get this, you know, little document of words and
oh
lines,
my
and you think,
goodness,
right.
brilliant.
So that's another challenge, and gives you
Yeah, yeah.
another different sort of, you know, end result. So yeah, I think it's good to do all of it. Try all sorts of different ways. Yeah.
Magic. I mean, I
Mm.
personally try and get my guitar, not so much my violin actually, but my guitar. I try and phrase it like singing. So I quite often will sing a part and then work out something on the guitar that's similar. Violin, I
Yeah.
don't so much. It's a longer instrument with longer phrases, quite a lot
Okay.
of the time. Not all the time, but
Yeah.
occasionally it kind of rambles longer than it kind of joins up different phrases of at the
Yeah.
actual singing. Hmm.
Because you don't have to breathe on a violin. Is that why you sort of tend to?
Yeah, probably is. Probably is. And also, it's a kind of can be quite a background sound depending how you're recording it. And when it stops, it feels like, oh, something's
Yeah.
gone. What's happened? But it's a bit like if you've got an acoustic guitar and you're strumming away and then you stop. You know, it would be for an effect, and you wouldn't do it all the time, would you? Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what projects are you working on at the moment? What's next for you?
Yeah. Well, I am actually working on some of my own stuff at the minute. There's a few little gaps in the diary, but that's been quite nice for getting the songs that have been that I have written, that we have even been trialing it. We've been singing at my little church, and I thought, oh, let's get them recorded and try and get them out there. So that's been fun. And then also been working for Songs for Schools. I don't know if you've heard of Nick and
No.
Becky Drake. They're some old friends. That's their sort of current project, is doing school songs. So I've been helping them out with putting a few tracks together for them.
Oh my goodness, that must be very different.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
but it's great fun. Yeah.
And so, if you had to sum up your kind of musical philosophy, do you think you could? Can you give us a nugget that, why do you do this? How do you do this?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a difficult one, isn't it? But I'll give it a shot. I suppose one thing that comes to mind is often I see people that are trying to show people how to do things and teach, but in a very sort of prescriptive way or dumbed down kind of a way. Like, if you just learn A, B, and C, then you can do it. And I'm sure that's brilliant and works to a certain degree. But I think I sort of push away from that, because I sort of think if you can just sort of get a bit more of a holistic view, immerse yourself in music, listen to loads of different stuff, start to figure out, how it works, and obviously get as good as you can on your instrument so that you can then understand, what's going on and transfer it onto your instrument. I just feel like it opens up way more headroom to what you can then do, instead of just being limited to, well, I learned A, B, and C, and it did mean I could do that. But it sort of feels like it might put a bit of a ceiling on then where you can go with that. So actually sort of digging, it's probably much harder work, but digging a bit deeper, and really pushing into your craft, just means that then, it gives you more vocabulary, more ability to to go further and create more interesting things. So
No,
that's kind of what I found myself sort of, pushing for a lot of the time with, people and teaching and trying to inspire people, I suppose. But I don't know. Does that make any sense?
absolutely. Yep, it certainly
Yeah.
does. Just thinking it through, really. I mean, we've got some amazing technologies coming out and that have
Mm,
been very helpful to me in particular. I mean, as I said, remote working is just
mm.
a game changer. That's fantastic. And the ease of digital recording as opposed to tapes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's been
oh
incredible.
dear, it's so enabling, and the cost of kit has come down so very much.
Mm, yeah.
If you just started out, you literally can buy an entire studio for almost pocket money now,
Yeah.
and make something half decent on it.
Yeah.
And then we've got streaming, we've got AI, we've got it's the trouble is now it's
Don't trigger
becoming
me.
so easy that what
Mm,
you're talking about, which is it being a craft and a lifelong learn
mm,
being a craftsman for
yeah.
40, 50, 60 years, you can kind of bypass that and get good results, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's um it's a very lovely IKEA cabinet
Mm.
instead of a handmade kind of.
Yeah. But I think what you're doing, Matt, is really inspiring because you're, with your Cairn project and just that style that you're going for as an artist, compared to what the masses we sort of think is popular or good to do. Sticking to your guns and going for something that is actually really authentic to you, I think actually really speaks to people, and also the way you're doing it, avoiding the streaming or that sort of thing. It sort of, it really says something. Like I really believe in what I'm doing, and that speaks volumes. And I think that's really important. And
Well,
you should
thank
keep
you.
doing
I mean, I totally agree with everything you said there, especially all the nice bits.
it.
Um,
Yes.
so it's not particularly the style in a way, because quite often I change style from album to album because I don't know if I get bored or just have different
Yeah.
inspiration or other things going through my head or different emotional baggage to unload on my listener. It needs a
Yes. All
different
right.
transport mechanism.
A cathartic
Um,
process.
but yeah, it's just about being real and authentic, and I think um, I think that's something that we've got in common there, really. So
Mm.
yeah, it's good. I don't think either of us are going to be on Radio One.
No, sorry.
Gotta laugh at
Yeah.
me.
But it's
So
nice because you see that across the sort of artistic spectrum. Even music aside, there's so many people that you see doing all sorts of stuff out there. You think, yeah, that is just you doing your thing, and it's brilliant, isn't it? Always, fantastic to see. So yeah,
absolutely, and I mean, yeah, you've got artists and people that make pottery and turn
yeah, oh,
bowls and
yeah,
flower arrange people, garden, all these kind of things are works of art in their own right, and are very similar to music in some respects.
mm.
And I'm rubbish at all of those.
It's the same, absolutely same. In fact, there's another couple in the church that are in this building that often do sort of artistic projects, and because I'm in the building, I'll just nip through and I'll join in. And suddenly I go from being in this studio world where I feel like I'm actually competent, and I go through to there with some pen and or charcoal and paper, and I'm absolute novice. It's like completely okay. This is really
So good for your
quite
ego,
good for
though,
me.
isn't it?
But yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, amazing. So outside of music, what other pursuits do you have? What do you do? What do you like?
Um,
Just so we know you a bit better, really.
yeah, well, I've got a little family. I've got a 14-year-old son who plays football every weekend, so that's
Oh,
a
great.
large part of my life. Standing out in the freezing cold most Thursday nights for training, and then same again on Saturday morning. No, I love that though, and
Your Crystal Palace scarf on?
yeah, Crystal Palace supporting family. Here he goes. Living our best lives at the minute, having just won our first trophy ever. We won the FA Cup
Wow.
last year, in case you didn't know.
Amazing.
So that's very fun. Yeah, and my mother-in-law is a season ticket holder, so she often takes my kids down to the Sellers Park on a weekend as well
Oh,
with
fabulous.
a spare ticket. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we love a little cinema trip, and we actually don't go to many gigs, but we often go to see comedy. So we're big
Oh,
comedy
interesting.
goers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of our things. So we're in a great little area. There's like 3 or 4 clubs in the area which are perfect for that sort of thing. So
Brilliant.
yeah, that's one of our
Obviously, there's
things.
not much
Date
not much
night.
comedy in Narborough.
Right.
I'm as good as it gets. Oh dear. Brilliant.
Mm.
So, I mean, cats or dogs?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I'm a kind of a neither.
Oh, come on. Tea
I
or
don't
coffee?
know. Tea,
Wine or whiskey?
whiskey.
Hmm.
I was on an old Pulteney last night. Do you
Oh,
know that?
yeah, yeah. Nice. With ice? Without ice? Drop of
Without
water?
ice. Sometimes a drop of water.
Do you know what?
Are you PT or not PT?
I'm I'm agnostic.
My name's Matt. Thank you very
I'm
much.
not fussy. I like both. It depends what mood I'm in, to be honest.
We got a selection. Very good.
Yeah, that's it. And do you know what? I once went to a gig. I'm just trying to remember the what band it was, and I'm struggling to remember the band, but oh, I know what it was. It was Fish on his third to last farewell tour, I think. We won't go there. Anyway,
Yeah,
it was in Leamington Spa,
yeah.
and there's the main hall, which is like a big dance hall, and then there's a bar area on the side. And for once, I wasn't driving. Normally, I drive to gigs, and then either because I'm playing or I'm driving because I'm listening. So I got a whiskey, and I ordered a whiskey. I can't remember what it was. It might have been a Glenfiddich or something, because generally
Mm,
the selection at those places isn't that hot, and that's always a good one.
yeah.
Um, and the lady poured it and plopped ice in it and gave it to me. And I said,
How
"Oh,
presumptuous.
I'm so sorry. I really don't want it with ice in." She put her hands in it, picked the ice out, put it in the sink, and gave me the glass.
Oh my goodness. That is horrific.
I, ju- I
What
just
did
look,
you do?
I just looked at her like, what am I going to do with that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, anyway, there we go. So,
That's a classic one. So good.
so anyway, I my next album, I don't know what it is.
Mm.
I don't know what it
Really
is.
not got an inkling yet?
No, no, not really. I
Mm.
quite fancy doing something a little bit more calm, mellow, quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably won't, but anyway, either way, I'll come into your doorstep when it's done.
Awesome. Oh, I'm looking forward to it already, mate.
So thank you so much, Matt. You've been an absolute gentleman, and can't wait to work with you again.
Pleasure. Yeah, you too, mate.
Cheers
All the
then.
best.